the UK Scrap Addicts channel. It's Sarah with you here today, and for my layout this month I'm using my kit from Lottie Loves Paper. The March-April kit had lots of the Cocoa Vanilla Wild at Heart collection, and so I've got the embellishment kit and I've also got the add-on 12x12 paper pack. So just here I'm going through the papers, choosing which ones I want to use. I know I want to use patterned paper for my background, and in the end I use that. It's almost a wood grain effect that you can see just at the bottom of the pile there. It's just peeping out from the back. And I'm just also selecting which other papers I want to use for my layout. So I know I want to have two strips of paper down the left hand side. I want one of the strips to be this darker pink rather than the lighter pink that's at the top of the paper. So I'm just cutting a 2-inch strip away from the bottom of this 12x12 paper, and I'm going to use that vertically on my page. And I've picked out a doily, and I'm going to map my photo onto that, but I've decided that the photograph is a little bit too big. It doesn't quite sit properly on the doily, so I'm just trimming a little bit off from the top and the bottom of the photograph. The photograph is one that I've turned black and white, and I've printed it on my Canon selfie printer. So I'm just choosing which paper I'm going to use to map my photograph onto. And just to create a little bit of extra interest, I'm going to create a banner shape on the strips of paper. So I've just turned it over, and using a pencil and ruler I've marked a halfway point, and just using my scissors just to cut a V into the end of the paper. Just creates a little bit of added extra interest. So here I am just creating a mat for the photograph to sit on, just to lift it up a little bit from the background paper. For my stitching, I'm using a template. This is a Stampin' Up template, and I'm using my pokey tool to poke through the template. It's already got the holes on it, and you just poke through the holes through to your paper to create the holes that you then stitch through. And I'm using a mat behind it. It's a foam mat. Mine is by Basil. And then I'm just going to choose which threads I'm going to use to stitch. I'm just using embroidery threads. These were left over from my cross stitch days, and I know I want to use the Hello Beautiful as my title, so I've picked out the blue that's the best match for that. Please ignore me getting a little bit of a tangle with my thread. They come in strands of 6, but I'm only going to use 2 strands to stitch with. So once I untangle it, I managed to get my my needle threaded, and I'm ready to start stitching. So it's just carefully using the holes that I've already pierced earlier on, and I'm literally just doing a running stitch through the holes. I am stitching through 2 sheets of paper, so I'm stitching through the background paper and the pink paper. I do find 2 sheets of paper is enough. If you try and stitch through 3 sheets of paper, it is quite tricky to push the needle through. So I won't make you watch all the sewing, and I'll fast forward through that, and you'll be able to see what the finished heart looks like in a minute. So here I'm just showing you how I finished off the heart. So on the reverse of the paper, I've just got the loose ends, and I'm just taping them down with a little bit of double-sided tape. I haven't knotted those ends at all, they're just loose and just held down with the double-sided tape, and then trim the ends off. So I've created 3 of those little stitched hearts, and here I'm just adding the chipboard title. The chipboard is also from the Wild at Heart collection, and that came in the Lottie Loves Paper embellishment kit. And now I'm just choosing some phrase stickers to add to each of the hearts. So each of the hearts that I've stitched is going to create the base of one of the embellishment clusters, and I've got the 3 clusters around the photograph, creating a triangle. And I'm just adding a little phrase sticker to each one, and I'm just tucking a little blue sticker underneath. It just says memories. It took me a little while to choose my third sticker. This sticker sheet is really lovely. It's got some really nice phrases on it, so it just took me a little while to decide which one I was going to use, but I finally made up my mind. So I just decided that I need a little added interest down this bottom right hand corner, so I'm just folding the corner over. I'm just going to add a little square of patterned paper behind so that it will just be peeping out on the corner, and then I add another little sticker and a staple as well, and you'll see that later. One of the sheets of paper from the Wild at Heart collection is full of butterflies, which just had to be fussy cut. So I cut out 3 of them, and I add 1 to each of the embellishment clusters. I'm just using some Tombow liquid glue to add the butterflies. And it's almost done. I'm just going to add some Heidi Swap Colour Shine. I use Butter and Ocean, and just cover over the photo, and I'm just going to flick a few little droplets of ink. And there we are, finished. Thanks so much for watching. I'll leave you with some stills at the end of the video.